That was what you requested.
Bob, did you bring me this?
No, if it's
No, but
unsigned, I wouldn't open it till.
Jim suggested that I better take. Get a roll for meeting of the North Reading Board of Selectmen to order. And the only item on the agenda this evening is discussion in relation to the Feingold Alexander and Associates relationship with the town, Police Station Building Committee. Members of the Police Station Building Committee are here this evening also. And this you may have heard or read as of Saturday, Mr. Smith brought up correspondence that was distributed to the board by the town administrator. A copy of a letter from Feingold Alexander and Associates, which I guess requires some sort of clarification or a better understanding of the board members, and also help develop a plan moving forward so we can keep this plan that's being proposed, looked at by the Police Station Building Committee, moving forward and on the fast track in time for the February 12th special town meeting. Just on that note, as an aside, I'd like to make point of the fact that the tremendous amount of progress has been made by the Police Station Building Committee in relation to an alternative proposal to the freestanding proposed new police station, which was part of the proposal defeated in November at the ballot box. Again, what was proposed was a freestanding facility out behind the existing town hall, just out back of this building. In light of the action at the polling booth and at a previous town meeting, the Police Station Building Committee has decided to revisit the possibility of expanding the police station facility where it currently exists. And I think the addition of the dam or diking that was done behind the police station certainly rendered that a little more feasible than what it was previously. If you recall, many times the Ipswich River decided to visit the basement of the police and fire station on numerous occasions and didn't render it really a suitable site, one that we really wanted to look at that particular time. But now with the Army Corps of Engineers assistance, the state's assistance, we now have a site down there which lends itself to another look. So since the November elections in December, we've reconstituted the Police Station Building Committee. We've had some resignations and new people step forward and willing to serve, which was great, and they've delved right into it and moved forward. In addition to that, we had a group of private citizens who were involved with attempting to preserve the downtown area, preservation in relation to the Bachelor School and also the police station. And as a result of their association with Feingold Alexander and Associates, we're able to secure some sort of a deal with the architectural firm for some pro bono work. And what's precipitated this whole discussion, again, was a piece of correspondence from Feingold and Alexander, which I'll just was sent to the Police Station Building Committee on the 16th of January. And just to paraphrase some of it, the middle paragraph just stated they were originally approached by a representative of the town not to exceed a budget of $5,000 to develop an alternative concept for the station on the existing site. They say to date, we have expended approximately $3,000 of that budget to prepare the work which was presented to you, which was the Police Station Building Committee on January 9th. At the conclusion of the meeting, we were asked to submit a proposal for continuing work to include a sketch and revised plan suitable for presentation to town meeting on February 12th. We estimate the cost of this work to be an additional $3,000 plus additional reimbursable expenses for printing. The total obligation of the town under this letter of agreement, which is what they sent, would be $6,000.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could you finish the rest of the letter?
Thank you sincerely.
No. Where it says, if you are in agreement, please sign the enclosed copy of
Yes,
this letter.
if you are in agreement, this is a letter of agreement. If you are in agreement, please sign the enclosed copy of the letter and return it to our files, for our files, to our files. And signed James Alexander and Daniel Riccarelli, I guess, or Riccadelli. Up to this point, there was some apparent confusion as to who they had commissioned, who had commissioned them to do some work. They said they expended approximately $3,000 of the budget, which there was no budget at that particular time. Again, as I said, what we're trying to do is keep this thing on the fast track and moving forward and find out what we can do to facilitate it, but also to ensure that proper procedures are followed when we're engaging the services of any outside vendors to the community. We have an obligation to comply with state and local laws, and also policies internally here at Town Hall that need to be followed. So we just want to make sure that there's clarification on that, find out exactly where we are, and move forward from there. Tom, if you just want to touch on...
Could I have something to say before we go to the town administrator?
Yep.
Apparently what happened here, in real terms, is that this particular letter was not sent to the town of North Reading at all, and it's not a bill by any means of the measure. What it was a notification letter to the Police Department Building Committee. It eventually got handed to the town administrator, who apparently got in touch with Mr. O'Leary and asked him if in fact there was any money allowed to be expended under this program. It was not a bill, it was simply a notification of the building committee about what had transpired from point A to point B. At the time of the first walkthrough at the police station, in attendance at that meeting was Mr. Hannon, myself, the chief of police. I don't know who else was there, Chief, but I think there was somebody else at that first walkthrough when Mr. Alexander went through the building. It was yourself.
Lieutenant Nolan was in there?
I think Lieutenant Nolan, I don't know, is Eddie here tonight? And possibly Eddie Nolan was there. But at any rate, what happened was we had asked Jim Alexander to come out and take a look at the bachelor school because, as everybody knows, the bachelor school, along with the police station, as Mr. O'Leary has indicated, got defeated at the November 11th ballot. We felt, as some of us on the board, that we should continue to look into the matter because we knew there had to be a solution to both problems. One was the bachelor school, one was the police station. So Mr. Hannon and Ellen Blue got very involved in this, and they had been involved with it for quite a few months prior to the November election. They had asked Jim Alexander, who is a historical preservation architect, to come to the town of North Reading and look at both issues. He did in fact go to the bachelor school first. They took a tour through there with Dr. Troughton. I believe some members of the, in fact, maybe you were there, Trish. And they walked through the bachelor school. Jim Alexander, who was the architect, I say, of record that we had called to take a look at this thing, came out, and he said there should be absolutely no problem with renovating the bachelor school, and in fact, he said he could draw up a beautiful plan for the project with the addition and a few other things. It was mentioned what had to be done. We brought the school into it, so I just wanted to say how we got here. So then, from the school department, he was asked if he would mind taking a tour of the local police station, which he did. And he met us over there. We walked through the police station. We explained the situation, how the plan had been defeated on the ballot, and that could it possibly be renovated. He looked at it, he talked with the chief. The chief summarized some of the issues that have come about. I believe Mr. Jones was at the desk that day. And some of the issues were brought up about the new plan that had been presented for the new police station. So he was willing to take the new police station guidelines and incorporate it into a possible plan of renovation to the police station. That all got going pretty good. But during that conversation, myself and Mr. Hannon said, we possibly can get a grant from historical preservation, up to $5,000. There's a good possibility we can have that money so that there won't have to be any money expended from the community. And if in fact that didn't take place, we felt we could get donations from groups of people in the community to keep the plan going along if in fact that had to be done because we couldn't get the grants. In the meantime, this thing got in the town administrator's hands. The next thing I got a call saying that I had no authority to expend town monies for a proposal for a renovation to the police station. Everywhere I go, I seem to get accused of these things, and that never took place. What took place is this letter that was sent back to the police building committee, asking them if they're in agreement with this amount of expenditure so far, just simply sign it and send it back. From there, it got blown all out of proportion, and it ended up at our meeting 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I guess. So we decided, let's call a meeting, let's find out if in fact, and in the meantime, we found out there was possibly $5,080 in a fund that had been set aside back in 1994 for a similar situation. That money possibly could, and possibly is still there, and could in fact be expended for this project. That's why we're here tonight. And that's why all the confusion was over this letter. It was simply nobody's fault that anything happened. All the architect did is send a notification to the committee asking them if they agreed with what's taken place so far. They'd like to be going forward. In the meantime, the town administrator sent a letter back to Jim Alexander and ordered him to stop working on the police station building committee project. We all kind of got a little upset at that because we wanted the project to keep going forward. It was well on its way, and there was no serious reasons to interrupt the project. So now we're back here tonight, and from my way of looking at it, I think what we're here for is to see if in fact there's $5,080 available. If there isn't, it's my understanding that not only the group of individuals that are interested in the project going forward are willing to kick in the $5,000 to allow it to be able to come to the town meeting February 12th and be discussed as to whether or not the plan can be presented or whether or not the town is willing to accept